Hey ladies and gents, welcome back. This is going to be part 3 to What If Naruto was the reincarnation of the Sage of Six Paths. Now you might be noticing that this thumbnail really isn't like completely my style, and that's because according to the person who made it for me, some nerd made it for me and he wanted me to use it, so I decided I was going to. So thank the random nerd for that. So, where we left off in the last part, Naruto had pretty much wrecked everybody on the bridge with Zabuza and Haku, and gone through a little bit of a character change due to what he now sees as what ninja actually are. So now they were heading back to the village, and after a while of being at the village, they get told by Kakashi that they should try out for the Chunin exams, and that's where we left off. So let's jump right back in to the what if. So now Naruto is pretty much signing up for the Chunin exams, and the first part of the Chunin exams, as we all know, is the written part. And Naruto, due to being insanely intelligent, even probably more so than Shikamaru at this point, he aces the test with relative ease and gets insanely high scores, only rivaled by that of like Minato and Itachi. He's either like second, third, he's like in that league of different, like that's how smart he is. He's like insanely intelligent. So now Naruto begins the next part, which is the Forest of Death. And the Forest of Death would go the same up until Naruto is pretty much going to take a pee, and the snake attacks him. Except in this time part, Naruto doesn't like get almost killed and eaten by the snake. He doesn't, like, Naruto turns around, sees the snake with his sensory abilities, and pretty much looks at the snake, and then Naruto just kind of like zips up his pants, turns around, launches himself at the snake, one-shotting it, and then he realizes that this snake was actually a summoning creature, so he runs back over to his teammates thinking they may be in danger. So, as Naruto is running back over to his teammates, he sees in the distance, and he sees what looks to be himself talking to the other two. And Sasuke wouldn't really have any reason to think that Naruto wouldn't be able to memorize the pretty much like thing that they had told him, so he wouldn't think much of it when Orochimaru actually like restated the little code, so they'd continue walking. Until Naruto jumps in and punches this other Naruto across the face, sending him flying. And Orochimaru felt the actual impact of this, and it undid his transformation jutsu, but at the same time, he's insanely impressed by and then he finally actually, like, looks up at who it was, and he realizes that this kid has a 3-tomo Sharingan, even though he's not even an Uchiha. So now, he's like, oh, interesting indeed. So now, Naruto pretty much charges at Orochimaru, and he's actually fighting on par with suppressed Orochimaru, or like he's doing much better than he was when he was pretty much enraged by the Kyuubi before. So he's doing really well just in his base form, and then Naruto pretty much steps it up a little bit. He starts using up to the 2 tails of the Kyuubi chakra, and now he's fighting pretty much how he was when he was in like his 6 tails against Pain. And he is now completely wrecking Orochimaru, and Orochimaru isn't even suppressed anymore. And now, Orochimaru is, like, again, like I just said, he's not even, at this point suppressed, and he is getting completely wrecked by Naruto. And Orochimaru is seemingly killed by Naruto, but in reality, Orochimaru just kind of runs away, knowing he can't defeat this kid. And Anko was watching this. And she's like, did this Genin just beat Orochimaru, a legendary Sannin that is like hundreds of times stronger than most Jonin? And she pretty much tells this to the Hokage, because again, she even thought that Orochimaru died. And Naruto is pretty much taken out of the Chunin exams at this point, and he's pretty much told that he's just going to be promoted straight to Jonin after a while, because he's too smart, too strong, and he's good. He's like has good leadership skills. He has good pretty much everything. So they're just gonna promote him straight to Jonin. But Sasuke and Sakura still have to pretty much finished the Forest of Death. And due to Sasuke not actually getting a curse mark in this, due to Orochimaru not being able to pretty much have any leeway in being able to like stretch out his neck and bite Sasuke, he doesn't actually have a curse mark, like I just said, so they're pretty much go straight to the end of the Forest of Death, and this is where the Sound Genin attack. And Sasuke easily defeats most of them, and Lee comes in to help and defeats the rest. They take the scroll because it's the one they needed, and they head to the end of the Forest of Death even faster than they did in the original. Even though they weren't exactly that quick in the original. So now it's the start of the next part of the Chunin exams. So now I have to decide who fights who, because again, like, Naruto is gone. So I'm just gonna say that Kiba just kind of like moves on because he's like nobody to fight in this part. So, or he would probably, okay, Kiba would just fight the winner of one of the other rounds. Like, we'll say Gaara defeated Lee, and then Gaara went and he defeated Kiba. So that's pretty much how I'm just gonna say how that worked, because they don't have enough participants anymore. So now that's pretty much the end of that. All the fights go pretty much the same, and Naruto is still watching. And Lee doesn't actually get, like, seemingly, like, not necessarily killed, but he doesn't get, like, a bunch of, like, broken bones and stuff from Gaara's sand, because at the last second, when Gaara was about to use his, like, sand trap, Naruto appeared and cut the sand off from Gaara's, like, usage, and pretty much, like, grabbed Lee, pulled him away, and just said, "That's far enough, Gaara." Now, Gaara's like, oh, this kid is, I don't know if Naruto would already be promoted to Jonin, or if he'd still be a Genin technically, but he'd be like, this Jonin is pretty powerful, and he's my age. So now, Neji versus Hinata would go the same, and Naruto would still get insanely pissed. But Naruto is there even faster than most of the Jonin would be there. Most of the Jonin were pretty much there to, like, guard Hinata from Neji being, like, he was, like, about to, like, really deal damage or kill her. I don't remember exactly what he was gonna do, but all the Jonin, like, jumped in last second and stopped him. Naruto would be the first one to do this. Before any of the Jonin could even react, Naruto would appear in front of Neji, blocking his hand, like, slightly before impact of Hinata. And then he looks at Neji and says, "That's far enough." And Neji pretty much just tells him, he's just like, "What do you think you can do? You were not blessed with the same power as me. You can't do anything." Because at this point, Naruto isn't using his Sharingan. He's just using his normal eyes. So now, Naruto would just say, "You want to know what I can do? Maybe you should challenge me later on." Neji pretty much takes thought of this and decides that maybe he will challenge him later on. And then they have the 1 month gap. During this time, Neji would actually challenge Naruto. Due to Naruto, I don't feel like would be going with Jiraiya. He'd probably honestly just be training by himself or with Kakashi. So Naruto would learn the Chidori in this little gap. And because, again, he would be training with Kakashi, he has Lightning Style and the Sharingan, which would make it so he doesn't have that, like, tunnel vision that a normal person would have when using the Chidori. So now, during this time, like I just said, Neji, I feel, would challenge Naruto due to Naruto not being part of the Chunin exams, just to show Naruto that he is definitely stronger than him. Oh, but he was mistaken. Naruto almost killed him, pretty much. Like, with one singular punch, just like he did in the original. Except Naruto didn't take a single hit this time. He pretty much blocks every single one of Neji's insanely fast attacks and completely wrecks him. And then he pretty much steps forward. And this is like a light punch for Naruto. He slams his fist into Neji's gut and says, "Well, that's the end of this." And Neji falls to the ground coughing up blood. And he's just like, "One hit." So now, obviously Neji got completely wrecked. So now, the next part of the Chunin exams would take place, which is the finals of the Chunin exams. Sasuke would still fight Gaara, but that would happen pretty much a little bit later on. And instead of Neji fighting Naruto, because again, that can't really happen, Neji would probably end up fighting Gaara first, and Gaara wouldn't or Neji wouldn't be enough of a challenge for Gaara to like transform. But by the time that Gaara is done with the fight, he's actually slightly weakened. And this alone was enough for Sasuke in his battle against Gaara later to actually manage to defeat him with insanely high difficulty. Sasuke didn't have any pretty much new techniques that he didn't learn in the original at this point, but Gaara was slightly weakened from what he was when he originally fought Gaara. So when he was fighting Sasuke in this one, he is more sloppy, and he doesn't do quite as well due to pretty much having some of his chakra points like drained and all these different things when he was fighting Neji. So now Sasuke would actually be the one to win this fight and win in the Chunin exams. And also, due to Sasuke not being like an emo kid and like yelling out in rage and like calling like he just defeated Gaara, he would actually be promoted to a Chunin as well. So he would be promoted to a Chunin as well as Gaara, because Gaara was never shown to not be able to control himself because he never got so excited that he would have to transform. So, like, he got close, but he never actually, like, managed to get to his partially transformed state due to Sasuke pretty much being able to defeat him fast enough where he couldn't get, like, so excited and, like, bloodlusted. So he would actually not transform, which would mean he and Sasuke, Shikamaru, and Temari would all be promoted to Chunin. So now, with them being promoted to Chunin and Naruto being promoted to Jonin, their missions would be a little bit different. So now there is no Sasuke, like, leaving, but they still get word that Orochimaru is still alive. Even though Naruto was actually physically stronger, faster, and probably had better, like, not necessarily better jutsus, but stronger jutsus than the ones that Naruto actually had, they still end up promoting Naruto to Jonin, but then they send a team of pretty much Jonin and Chunin, no, just Jonin, let's be honest, to pretty much go after Orochimaru. So the team would, I believe, consist of Guy, Kakashi, Naruto, Asuma, and I feel the last person to end up going would literally be Hiruzen himself due to knowing how powerful Orochimaru actually is. And they're able to do this just because of the fact that, like, they can literally, like, follow where Orochimaru was due to him being there, like, the last day. So they show up at the hideout where Orochimaru is, and they pretty much begin their fight against all of the different people. Naruto starts fighting with the Bone Man himself, and he easily manages to take him out with Taijutsu alone. And then they fight the Sound 4, easily manage to take them out. Next, they come in contact with Kabuto. Obviously, Naruto has some experience with fighting people who can, like, who use, like, this pinpoint attacks and, like, stuff like that with fighting Neji, and Naruto would easily manage to wreck him too. And lastly is their fight with Orochimaru. Everybody meets up in this final corridor where Orochimaru is pretty much there. So it's Kakashi, Guy, Naruto, Asuma, and Hiruzen, Sarutobi Hiruzen, I think I said that backwards, I don't really care anymore, fighting Orochimaru. And obviously this fight would not go in Orochimaru's favor. Again, they didn't kill everyone, like, they didn't, like, kill, like, Kabuto or anybody like that, but they were thinking that they might even have to kill Orochimaru in this if they had the opportunity to. So now, their fight would begin, and Naruto would be much stronger than pretty much anybody there except for possibly Hiruzen and Orochimaru. He'd be pretty much on par with them at this point. So now, he and Hiruzen are pretty much like leading this battle with everybody else fighting on the sidelines, other than maybe Guy, because he could open up to like the 6th gate and be pretty much on par with these two, maybe even the 7th. So he would be pretty much fighting on par with Naruto and Hiruzen, and everybody else would be pretty much backup and support, with Asuma throwing his chakra blades and Kakashi pretty much using different like range techniques. So now, their fight is leading heavily in their favor against Orochimaru, and Naruto deals the final blow, pretty much completely vaporizing? No, that's not how that word works. Vaporizing Orochimaru in the process. And during this fight, Naruto had actually unlocked a new, pretty much, technique. It's something that the pretty much Sage of Six Paths used when he was fighting, and Naruto uses due to him having Six Paths pretty much powers, he can actually make these like truth-seeking orbs. And during this fight, Naruto learned how to use them, and that's what he uses to deal the finishing blow to Orochimaru, just pretty much creating a pretty big one of those and sending it flying into Orochimaru completely. I don't know exactly what the attacks of a truth-seeking orb or ball do, but it isn't good. It makes it so Edo Tensei can't regenerate, so I'm pretty sure it destroys things on a very, very high level. So he would easily manage to take down Orochimaru with this ability. So now, the next part of pretty much everything happens, with the Sasuke retrieval arc not happening, just like I said. So with that happening, and Hiruza never dying, they wouldn't actually go to find Tsunade, because they don't need another Hokage, which would mean that when Itachi attacked, they wouldn't have pretty much somebody to heal him. Now, when Itachi does actually attack, it's a little bit different. Because in the original, Guy and Kakashi were Guy, Kakashi, and I don't remember if it was Kurenai or Asuma or somebody else was there pretty much. And now Naruto would also be there as well, and he was pretty much like training and talking with them. And so when Itachi attacks, and he seemingly kills, or not kills, but like Kakashi is like on the ground like dying after Itachi doing nothing, Naruto gets enraged by this, and he activates his 3-Tomo Sharingan and charges at Itachi. Itachi is kind of surprised to see that this Naruto, who's not even an Uchiha, has these Sharingan eyes, and he's pretty much like, he's not holding, well, he's obviously holding back, but he's not like going full power against Naruto. And Naruto starts going completely all out, and he goes up to the second tail, and like I said in the original, or not in the original, a while ago, Naruto in the second tail would be about his six-tail state in Shippuden when he was fighting against Pain. So he would actually be completely wrecking Itachi, or not wrecking, actually Itachi, I'm not going to go into whether or not Itachi could defeat the Six Paths of Pain, but that's the thing, Itachi is like good when it comes to like one-on-one fights and different things like that, whereas, or Pain is good at one-on-one fights too, but Itachi is kind of like them, but like compressed into one really powerful one. So now Itachi would definitely be forced to use his Susanoo in this, and he would be using his Yata And Naruto, instantly knowing what the Totsuka Blade is, due to having this like knowledge like even greater than Orochimaru, due to pretty much wanting to study everything, he would figure out what this Totsuka Blade is, and he would pretty much manage to avoid it at all costs, knowing that if he gets hit by this entire fight is over. Now, during this fight, Naruto is pretty much almost killed many, many times, but every time he gets almost killed, Naruto, like, not saying like a Zenkai boost from the Saiyans, but Naruto gets slightly stronger. He's adapting to the way that Itachi is fighting. And Itachi sees that Asuma, Guy, and Kakashi are trying to pretty much help Naruto in this fight, even though they can't really do anything. And Itachi would actually end up sealing Kakashi inside of the Totsuka Blade. And this would completely enrage Naruto. Naruto, in this moment, would activate the Mangekyo Sharingan. And I'm not sure, like, I know for a fact that the Six Paths, the Sage of Six Paths, like, went straight to activating the Rinnegan, so I'm not sure if he even can have a Mangekyo, but I'm just gonna say he does, just to make it a little bit more interesting, instead of just making Naruto activate the fucking Rinnegan. So, because that's a little bit powerful, I'm not gonna lie, so Naruto would activate the Mangekyo. And as Naruto is fighting, he's trying to figure out what his abilities are. By the end of the fight, Naruto would be able to use the ribcage of the Susanoo, and he figures out what his two different abilities are. And Naruto's abilities are a little bit different from what literally almost every single Uchiha's was. His ability is the ability to time travel back in time for a brief few seconds. Now, like, again, Naruto at this point can't travel back in time more than, like, 1 or 2 seconds at a time, and he can travel ahead in time at 1 or 2 seconds at a time, but making everybody else freeze around him. So this is kind of like the time skip ability of Hit from Dragon Ball, but as Naruto pretty much gets stronger and better with his ability, he gains, like, more, pretty much, I don't know what to call it. He gains, like, more understanding of his ability, so he would be able to use it better. And his other ability is a genjutsu. It's sort of similar to that of Kodo Matsukami of Shisui Uchiha, but he can use it once a day, kind of like how Danzo can. And now in Naruto, we're going to cover pretty much what his Susanoo's abilities are. So he would have something kind of similar to the Yadomir of pretty much Itachi, except his shield completely, or it like covers half of his body, like kind of like how like the shield of Itachi's does, except instead of being able to pretty much negate all attacks, it absorbs jutsu, similar to that of the Rinnegan, and then Naruto can use that jutsu, but not taijutsu, to like release that attack back out into the opponent. That, like, it's pretty much like you can absorb it and then send it flying back out. So now we're going to cover his blade, and his blade allows him to pretty much cut anything. Like, you know how Amaterasu can burn anything? This sword can literally cut anything. Like, if you pretty much poke, or not poke, but you actually have to be like wanting to cut it. But say like Naruto slashes at like Madara's perfect Susanoo, it would just cut it clean in half with absolutely no difficulty. So that's what Naruto's Mangekyo Sharingan abilities are. The time skip ability, pretty much Kodo Matsukami, but how Danzo had it, where he can use it every other day, or every day. And his pretty much insanely ultimate freaking like Yadomir level freaking Susanoo, which allows him to absorb and repel attacks with a shield, and the ability to cut literally anything with his pretty much sword. So that's where I'm going to leave this part off. If you guys want to see in the next part, Naruto just may awaken the Rinnegan, so come back for that.